thrusters are warmed up and doing their job. And now
there's another nice one. It's 12,262.
The vehicle had the
nice.
Wow. It's a spin stabilized spacecraft. And then from here on out, it's
yeah, we're all showing off our nice light. All showing off our Martians to everyone. Black Beauty in the house.
Sorry,
My Black Beauty needs a microscope. Seriously. Oh, I don't even have it up here anymore. But you know what I do have up here?
We are continuing to wait for entry interface for about 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
Tissons. Hey, remember that one? My man gave that to me, Raymond.
Direct to Earth telemetry via that.
Yeah, I still got some of those. I got like 20, 30 cards.
Oh, guys.
I usually kind of go away.
That Perseverance is operating
yeah, that's my only piece of Tissons, and there's no need for me to get any more, honestly. Why spend the money on Tisson? I have a piece, and it has a great story from the Meteorite Mansion and a friend. It's like, done.
Tissot has, there's a number of big, relatively big crystals in it, on the order of 2 or 3 millimeters. But it has, Fusion Crest has shiny spots over the top of the crystals versus the matrix. And really
getting thicker and thicker. It's going very quickly at a fairly steep angle of 15 degrees into the atmosphere. And as it starts to slow down.
Just under, we're about 5.5 minutes from entry interface. We're still receiving heartbeat.
Anybody recognize this one?
We expect to continue receiving heartbeat.
Oh my God, 13202.
At that time, Perseverance will be no longer
no doubt about it.
Earth. About 90 seconds.
That is so sexy. Has nothing to do with Mars, but it is. That one has over 75%, or 75% or 90% metal, which is ridiculous because chondrites end at like 28%. But this is a ridiculous metal content.
We should have telemetry until about 90 seconds
NWA 13202
landing. The plasma blackout is when the signal from Perseverance isn't strong enough to make it through the superheated, super fast air flowing around the
spacecraft. Do you guys want me to
down to Earth. Once the
amend the feed audio louder? Let me know.
Currently about 4.5 minutes from entry interface. Perseverance continues to report heartbeat tones, indicating everything is nominal.
Okay, what we wait.
It's touchy, so let me know how it sounds afterwards.
Should be in view soon of our vehicle and be able to listen to ones and zeros coming from a separate radio that's really designed to talk between spacecraft.
Camera reports the electro radio is powered on, ready to receive signals from the lander.
Okay.
I feel bad for all the commentators who've been working hard for the last hour, and we've just been talking over them, having them on mute just about, working their ass off for us.
It should be in a few minutes here. We're just
I think these guys are probably pretty excited right now, so they're not worried about how much they're working.
Yeah, there's a lot of adrenaline in that room.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's tens of thousands of man-hours or person-hours, and over, I think it was over $1 billion.
Around this time, a second spacecraft, Maven, should begin picking up telemetry from Perseverance, and will continue to record that telemetry until several minutes post-landing.
I asked a question earlier in the chat. I thought I remember a number of 14 million on the rover.
Later.
But that seems...
That's way low.
I know, it seems really low.
Indicating that everything is nominal. We're currently at about 3 minutes until entry interface.
The crazy part about this is all the complexity. We're going to learn a lot. One of the things is 35 or about 32 to 35 tubes, 2.7 billion for the rover.
2.7 billion, of which 2.2 was for the spacecraft
in the sky that we've defined to be above
development, and 243 million were launch services, 300 million for operations,
minutes from
scientific
entry
analysis.
interface.
So that's just a Google top result breakdown. Let me see if
everything is
Nice.
but yeah, 2.7 billion for the whole mission. I don't know
So the tones
specifically
can
the
tell
rover
us whether
itself.
something's bad or not is happening. So far the heartbeat is
I mean,
doing well.
it's kind of
So the
hard to
vehicle
say, right?
thinks it's
Because
up-
building
it's,
it is a
in good shape
cost,
to land.
but the research to
Which is a great
develop
sign.
the scientific tools,
Cool, Oz.
you know, wow, that's cool.
USA.
Oz is showing us a little Mooney analysis probably, or
Yeah, I
cut
think it was
to the
Mooney.
shape of the U.S.
We're just
Yeah,
under 2 minutes from entry interface.
The cost for
As it gets closer to Mars,
fundamental
Perseverance
science
is
work
actually being
is
pulled in by
almost
gravity and
entirely
accelerating.
people's salaries.
By the time Perseverance reaches entry interface point,
The end result, I mean, among
going
other
just
things,
under
is
5.4
30
kilometers
some
per
odd
second.
capsules containing
We're at
15
about
grams of Mars
90
each.
seconds
Yeah.
from entry interface.
I got you covered right there, buddy. Just in that top case,
telemetry.
one drawer alone, I got you covered. But mine's not as fresh. 1 minute to atmospheric entry.
Ooh, get ready, everybody! It's a countdown. You're gonna come and watch it in the room, or you're in the quiz.
And we look at how quiet it got in there.
We are 1 minute from entry interface.
$2.7 billion.
This is
30
so much.
seconds to weather $2.7 billion.
You had to see if it
Is
actually
gone
worked.
in the trash.
We have confirmation
And
that
probably
the
tens or
reconnaissance
hundreds of
recorder
thousands
is
of
now relaying
person
data
work
from
hours.
Perseverance. We're about 30 seconds from entry interface. Perseverance is going about 5.2 kilometers per second and is about 190 kilometers altitude above the surface of Mars. Confirm your test data flow.
1-0. We have atmospheric entry. See, this is obviously a simulation.
Yeah.
5.3 kilometers per second and
I guess we'll see after the 11 minutes or so.
Once the signal, okay. So supposedly right now it's getting pretty hot. Look at that. There's a landing, Jezero Crater.
It's going Mach 28.
We have confirmation of entry interface. Perseverance is currently going 5.3 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 120 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
This is amazing.
If anyone saw I forget, I think this Red Bull guy who jumped off of a balloon that was Baumgartner,
atmosphere.
He was going Mach 1, maybe 1.1 or something.
Controlling its path to the landing target.
Yeah.
This is going 28.
Yeah. And supposedly the chute
that we can
coming out is one of the things that they had to really design and over-engineer. So
yeah, well, the chute deploys at 930 some odd miles an hour.
Okay, 930
kilometers per second
So
and an altitude of about 67 kilometers from the surface.
We are probably seeing.
It's just insane. The complexity of this procedure and this overall, from launch to descent is probably one of the most complex feats of humankind's in this,
doing its turns right now.
at least in the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is special and different for the
that Perseverance is now performing bank reversals in the atmosphere. These are the steps in order to control
better autonomous
to the landing target. Perseverance has just passed through the point of maximum deceleration and has indicated that it felt approximately 10
and really what that does is just saves us souls of travel, The closer we land to where we want to start working, you can cut out months or, compared to where we landed last time, 2 years of driving.
Likely caused by the plasma blackout.
2 years of wearing the tires away.
To perform bank reversals
and
in the
worrying
atmosphere
about
to control
its
distance to the landing target.
it will be really, really, really cool to find out if everything goes well, we're assuming, how close to target they actually were.
Mm-hmm.
And then you figure, you know, how many millions of miles away that target is, and they were off by how many percent.
An altitude of about 16 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
Everything goes well.
We have entered heading
they're
alignment.
using video, AI,
Perseverance is no longer trying to control the distance to Mars, but in
automatically
to the target
land
on Mars,
the
but
last
instead
portion,
is flying
like find where
straight to the
the
target.
best place is that is not like around rocks.
Yep. In fact, the final 7 minutes are autonomous.
Mm-hmm.
And as it's doing that, it's also, in case of failure, it's also digitizing and creating a map as it goes. So if all else fails, at least we have a digitized, detailed map of its descent.
That's cool. Complete silence.
This is freaking awesome.
About 550 meters per second at an altitude of about 15 kilometers from the surface. In preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground.
MRO's reporting good telemetry log.
There's applause.
Parachute has deployed and we are seeing significant deceleration. Where the spacecraft will jettison the entry balance masses in preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground.
12 kilometers. Look at the fuel. We started out with 400 kilograms. We have just about 400 kilograms left.
The parachute has deployed and we are seeing significant deceleration. Perseverance and velocity. Our current velocity is 400 meters per second at an altitude of about 12 kilometers from the surface of Mars. To get their first look at the surface. Current velocity is 145 meters per second at an altitude of about 9.5 kilometers above the surface. Perseverance has now slowed to subsonic speeds and the heat shield has been separated.
0.76.
This allows both the radar and the cameras to get their first look at the surface. Current velocity is 145 meters per second at an altitude of about 9.5 kilometers above the surface.
It's still going 145 meters per second.
Yeah. Perseverance now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second.
That's awesome.
6.6 kilometers of the surface.
That call out means that the radar is functional.
Continuing to descend on the parachute.
And that was one of the checks that they really needed to do.
The initialization of now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second. 6.6 kilometers of the surface at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers. Perseverance is continuing to descend on the parachute. We are coming up on the initialization of terrain relative navigation and subsequently the timing of the landing engines.
That's the AI kicking in with all the images and taken.
An altitude of 4.2 kilometers. We have confirmation that the lander vision system has produced a valid solution in part of terrain relative navigation. With confirmation that the backshell has separated. We have timing of the landing engines. Current velocity is about 75 meters per second at an altitude of about a kilometer off the surface of Mars. Current velocity is 83 meters per second at about 2.3.
This is awesome. Now watch the fuel.
With confirmation that the backshell has separated.
350, 330.
Performing the divert maneuver. Current velocity is about 75 meters per second at an altitude of about a kilometer off the surface of Mars.
TRN Safety Bravo.
Now this is not simulation, right? I mean, that's the real.
No, this is simulation here.
Current speed is about 30 meters per second, altitude is about 300 meters off the surface of Mars.
I will be very pleasantly surprised if we see video.
You don't think we'll see the real video at all today?
I don't think so.
Which means we are conducting the sky crane.
I mean, why not in 11 minutes?
We've lost direct to Earth.
Because of the bandwidth of the communication channel back to Earth.
22 meters.
20 meters off the surface.
Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
Touchdown confirmed.
Touchdown confirmed.
All right.
Unbelievable.
Did it. All right.
Fantastic.
That was
Touchdown
amazing.
confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the sands of past life.
Unbelievable, guys. That's freaking fist pumps.
At this point, the descent stage has flown away to safe distance. Perseverance is continuing
That's crazy,
to transmit
guys.
direct
Amazing the
through
validation
Mars
of all their
orbiter
hard
to
work.
Earth.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's a lot of people involved in this. So many. Just look how many people are just in charge of landing this one little robot.
So exciting. The team is beside themselves.
More reports, they're still getting telemetry from the lander.
We might get some pictures.
We might get some pictures.
All right, all stations.
That's good.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
This guy needs to take the mask off. He can't breathe. He's hyperventilating. Holy shit.
Get the paddles.
Stay tuned. We might get some pictures.
Wow.
Well, they just said we might get some pictures.
We just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars.
Nice. Powered up.
So we were, the 11-minute delay is built in. We weren't looking at things real time. We were looking at it with the 11-minute delay.
Yeah, we just heard the news that
right now.
Perseverance
So
is alive
all of
on
this,
the surface
so
of Mars.
the rover actually already landed like 13 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a shock meter on it to record the shock when it touched down.
Yeah, no doubt.
They have a seismic tool that records vibrations. So
We have just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars. Congratulations to the mission. And looks like we have some more news in. It looks like we're getting the first image.
What?
We got an image.
Here, take a look at the first image. We have just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars. Congratulations to the mission. And looks like we have some more news in. It looks like we're getting the first image.
Yes.
The first image.
It's tiny.
Unbelievable.
I'm actually, hang on. I'm actually on a watch party right now.
We are ready, OL3. Go for
Right
it.
there. I'm at a watch party.
Moving in, showing you the
Meteorite group.
landed in.
Ooh, there's a picture. It looks like we're coming some rocks.
No, I'm watching it right now, real time. I'm watching it right now.
Don't show us them. Show us what they're looking at.
I know.
As a group, we're watching this thing live.
There it is.
Wow, there you go.
Hell yeah.
The shadow of the rover.
February 18th, 2021.
On the surface of Mars. Now it comes from the engine
Perseverance is alive.
known as the hazard camera. This camera is
Martian
mainly used to help the
counts as
rover
alive.
drive safely around Mars, and we will get higher resolution photos later in the day.
High-res photos later in the day.
Look at that.
The resolution of the photos improving as they get a little more data.
I wonder how close. We're about to lose my sign. I wonder how close we came to target.
Steve, stand by for Steve.
None of those guys slept last night. Oh, nice.
I doubt they'll be able to sleep tonight with that success.
Yeah.
That false color image there looks like the radar map data that the craft would have used.
Another picture.
Pick a
We
flat
got some more pictures. 3 pictures.
They're near the ground, so these are pretty close. You can see the wheels there.
We've got got our second image in. Our second image is in.
Seconds after landing, so they're still we have a camera in the front and rear of the spacecraft. They're near the ground, so these are pretty close. You can see the wheels there, and they're a little dirty because we've got glass covers over these cameras. But we took these seconds after landing, so there's still dust in the air from our landing event.
You could even see some of those little spherical blueberries they talked about in that landing zone.
This is really amazing. This is what we can do. And we even know where we landed. This is the most amazing thing. The vehicle has told us where it's landed because it figured it out. You know, this is a sign. NASA works. NASA works. And when we put our arms together and our hands together and our brains together, we can succeed. This is what NASA does. This is what we can do as a country on all of the problems we have. We need to work together to do these kinds of things and make success happen.
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. What an amazing day.
And how does it feel to have another rover on Mars?
It's amazing.
Joining us now
Perseverance
is the
Curiosity
acting administrator of NASA, Steve Jurczyk. Steve, welcome and congratulations.
I mean, just what an amazing team.
Hey, thank you. What an amazing day.
All the adversity,
how does it feel to have another rover on Mars?
It's amazing.
The challenges
to have Perseverance join Curiosity on Mars, and what just a credit to the team.
For NASA
I mean, just
and
what an amazing
plan?
team.
So for robotic exploration,
every time the adversity that goes and all the challenges that go with landing a rover on Mars, plus the challenges of COVID and
that always informs
just
our
an
future
amazing
robotic missions. Both
And
landers,
what
rovers,
does
and
this mean
orbiters.
for NASA and its future
This
plans?
mission also has
So
technology
for robotic
on it.
exploration,
One of
every
the cool
time
things is the
we
Ingenuity
execute
helicopter.
a mission with new
It's
instruments,
an experiment
we
on
discover
this
new things
mission,
and things
but
we
if it's
never thought
successful,
we
we can
would
use it
discover.
as
So
an
that always
observation,
informs
science
our
observation
future
platform by
robotic
putting
missions,
instruments on it,
both
and also
landers,
use it
rovers,
as
and
a
orbiters.
scout for
This
future
mission
rover
also
missions.
has technology on it.
And then
One of the
just
cool
the
things is the
intercept
Ingenuity
landing
helicopter.
capability.
It's
It'll
an
allow us to
experiment
land
on this mission,
more and
but if
more
it's successful,
larger,
we can
more
use it
ambitious
as an
robots on the surface of
observation,
Mars.
science
And then
observation
for
platform by
human
putting instruments on it,
exploration,
and also use it as a
we have
scout
the
for future
Mars
rover
Intercept and
missions.
Landing Instrumentation, which is
And,
going to give
and
us
then just
EDL
the
information.
intercept and landing
We have the Mars
capability.
Environmental Dynamics
It'll allow us
Analyzer.
to land
It's going to
more
give us
and more
properties,
larger, more
size and
ambitious
properties
robots
of
on the
dust
surface of
particles,
Mars.
because
And
when
then
we
for
send people, we're
human
going to have to deal with
exploration,
that dust.
we have the
This is just an incredible
Mars
mission
Intercept
because
Landing
of the
Instrumentation,
science
which is
and
going
the
to give us
technology
EDL information.
and caching samples
We
for
have the Mars
sample return
Environmental
mission.
Dynamics
That will be
Analyzer.
an
It's
amazing
going
mission.
to give
The
us
first round trip
properties,
to Mars
size and
and
properties
back,
of dust
and
particles.
bring
Because
those samples
send
cached by
people, we're going to have to deal
Perseverance
with
back
that
to Earth
dust.
to examine
And
with
this
state-of-the-art
is an incredible
equipment
mission
in our
because of the
laboratories here on Earth.
science and the technology,
We have
and
so
then
much to
caching
look forward
samples
to.
for a Mars sample
And
return
we also
mission.
have a student
That will be
question
an
coming
amazing
in
mission.
from
The
Landon.
first
Let's
round
take a
trip
look.
to
Is
Mars
there a
and
reason
back,
that I'm hearing
and
like
bringing
5
those samples
different
cached by
feeds?
Perseverance back to Earth to examine with
I hear
state-of-the-art
one feed and it's
equipment in our
really
laboratories here
delayed.
on Earth.
As like a launching point, or even as like a launching.
Great question, Landon.
I'm
Actually,
hearing
we have
two.
an
One is
experiment
delayed
called the
by a
the
second.
Mars
I'm hearing the
Oxygen
same.
In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, or MOXIE.
Same
And
here.
it's going to demonstrate generating oxygen from atmospheric CO2, and that could help generate breathable oxygen.
It's better
and
now,
even,
isn't it?
if we can liquefy it, oxidizer for propulsion
It wasn't
systems.
me.
So that's a
Someone
tech
else did
demo on
something.
Perseverance. And
Good.
then we're
Glad
going to
it works.
continue to characterize the frozen water on and below the surface of Mars, and eventually try to figure out how to extract that water from the Martian soil, or what we call regolith. And then we can use that for potable water and also break it down into oxygen and hydrogen.
Yeah,
for
he's
rocket
discussing
fuel.
the
So
MOXIE,
absolutely, we're
which
gonna
is what
try
I was
to
talking about last
eventually
night as
figure out how to
being
live
the
off the land to
instrument
support
that they're
human
most
missions to Mars.
excited about testing
Taking the time
in
to talk
the
to us today,
Martian
Steve.
environment,
Thank you.
because the MOXIE
And
can
now
actually
that
convert
Perseverance has
what
safely touched down
small
on
amounts
Mars,
of oxygen
let's
there
learn more about
are
what's
there
in store for the
into
rover.
usable
Joining us now
for
is
fuel
Surface
and
Mission
for
Manager
breathing, life
Jessica
support.
Samuels. Jessica, your surface operations team has now taken over. What are they doing now?
Yes, hi
They're
Raquel.
crapping their
We are
pants.
so excited here in the Surface Mission Support area. The team will do a handover with the entry, descent, and landing team and pass any critical information. And then this team behind us will be the team that does the health and safety assessments daily as we progress on this mission.
And what do the upcoming weeks look like for your team?
So as we enter Mars time now, the commanding team will be working overnight while the rover is asleep so that we can perform the initial checkouts of our key rover functions and our science instruments. And we have to do this all in time for the regularly scheduled communication pass, which happens in the morning. And so we will be working around the clock, making sure that Perseverance is healthy, and we will begin this exciting adventure.
And can you tell me, what's it like living on Mars time?
It's a little bit like constantly, flying and changing your time zone. The rover, on Earth, the rover wakes up at the same time every day, but on Earth, that's 40 minutes later. So the team is going to be shifting our work schedule by 40 minutes as we come into work over the next few weeks. So it'll be exciting and some late nights, but we're also excited and we can't wait.
Yeah.
It's a whole new lifestyle.
You know, it's weird. It sounds like a real hardship, and changing your schedule and everything like that. Absolutely it is. But last night on the hangout, we showed Marco out there freezing his ass off, for 4 hours capturing an image for us of Orion. So it's the dedication and the passion you have to respect.
With a power source that charges its batteries overnight while it
How's
sleeps,
the feed volume? Is that appropriate?
On so that all of our critical electronics can stay
sounds good to
warm,
me.
as well as our mechanism. But it's really survived by the team that performs the health and safety assessments every day and communicates with the rover and makes sure that
so there's definitely going to be some downloading of information because
thanks for your time, Jessica,
there
and
were
good luck living
microphones
Mars
on
time.
the in the descent stage
Let's head back
that
to
was
Maria
then
as she
jettisoned
gives us
before
a sneak peek into the future at
the lift,
JPL.
whatever it's called. And
Yeah, so
Thanks so much, Raquel.
they
It's
just
definitely
said
bustling
that they
behind
were,
me.
at
It's
a
not
certain
quite
time
like
they
it
would
was
get
just
the
20 minutes ago. And
data
congrats to the
path
whole team.
up
What an
to the
amazing
Mars
accomplishment.
Reconnaissance
Mike
Orbiter,
Watkins is
and
the
then
director of
MRO will
NASA's
speak
Jet
back to
Propulsion
Earth,
Laboratory.
and
He was the mission manager during the
and then
Curiosity
we'll get the
rover
high
landing
res
on Mars. Welcome, Mike.
video coming down and the audio as well.
Glad to be here.
Nice.
You can see all my mask markings on.
Well, you were just celebrating.
I'd like to see all the math that went into this.
Number of Mars landings. What makes this one special?
Well, two things. I mean, it's the biggest and best rover we've ever sent to Mars.
My
really,
largest fear after showing you that video last night of the Mars sample tubes is you were going to want me to make one.
But it's also as you've heard today, it's the first step in Mars sample return.
I can see the next release of Topherspin Meteorites Lab
setting us up for a series of missions and to bring those samples back.
Mars
a lot of the
Perseverance
effort to develop the rover was specifically designed for that sampling and caching system. It's one of the most complex robotic systems ever made. And having it down safely means Mars sample return continues right on course, and we are moving forward.
Wonderful. Now, JPL has a long history with robotic space exploration. Why do you think it's so important to continue to push those boundaries?
There's a lot of reasons. I mean, obviously, for
one of the great benefits they were talking about with, and they hinted on it a minute ago, about the Ingenuity helicopter. One great thing about it is they'll be able to take it into the air for like 3 or 4 minute flights. And when they do that, they're mapping the surface in high resolution as they go because they're obviously very close. and it's also going to be used to scout and pre-plan the path for the rover to drive.
And
a lot of times they were driving
to learn from each
not
rover,
blind,
learn
but
from the science and the engineering.
now they're
going to
be educated more
and make more and more discoveries. And every time we do one of these missions, we make fabulous discoveries.
They're out
And,
there
and
boondocking.
each one is more exciting
Yeah,
than the
yeah,
last.
because literally there was sometimes they would go to a crater and they wanted to like enter the crater, but they'd literally have to drive around the crater, hitting it from like 12 different places until they finally found an approach angle that they could navigate safely without, the tipping.
Of course, we had the COVID experience, and I want to thank not only the team, but
or
also
without
all
getting
of JPL.
stuck in sand. So now they'll be able to
pitch in here, in terms of
just park
sure
the
our
rover,
remote telework,
fly
our
the
IT systems were good enough
ingenuity,
to support folks
map
working
out
from home,
exactly where they want to go,
looking
and then
at,
drive the
PPE
rover
and our
efficiently
safe
to where they
distancing
need it
and
to be.
reconfiguring facilities.
I wonder if they'll upload it to Google
It's just
Earth.
an incredible amount of work by the entire lab, and of course, especially by this team.
Google Mars.
And and in one sense, the 7 minutes
They
of terror
they
are
did
very
the
exciting,
animated
but on the other hand,
flyby that I
the mission's
showed
just starting,
in the last
right? We built the
hangout
mission, not
last
to
week,
land, but actually to drive
and that was
and
a
get the
really
samples and do
cool
other
animation
technology,
of the flyby into
demonstrations.
Jezero Canyon,
And so, for
crater.
much of the team, this part of the mission's over, but for most of the team, the mission's really just starting. And so, I think they're very excited, but, everybody, I think, can take a deep breath and a sigh of relief now that we are safely down on the surface.
Yes, that collective sigh of relief, and I
like
hear
that
a lot of
logo.
excitement and
Google
celebration
Mars.
behind me as well. So thanks so much for joining me, Mike.
It's my pleasure, and thanks
It's
to everyone for joining
it's
us,
actually
too.
weird when you
Congrats
look
again
up
to the Mars 2020 Perseverance
doing some
team for a
research on
successful
classifications
landing.
of
Back to you,
meteorites,
Raquel.
and I
Now,
was trying to figure
there
out
will
where
be
a
flight
certain
test coming
metal
up
meteorite
for
or
the
iron
Ingenuity
meteorite,
Mars helicopter,
where
and if this
and
technology
there's
experiment
only
is
5 of
successful,
them.
it would mark
And
the first
I was like,
time
well,
we have taken
how hard
a
are they to get?
powered,
Well, 2 of them were found on
another
Mars.
planet.
So you're not getting those. And it's weird because even in the Metville, it actually tells you it's found, find location. It gives you the location, Mare, whatever, up on Mars. I'm like, that's crazy.
Powered helicopter flight in the Martian atmosphere.
How many flights do you think that helicopter is going to actually blast
From
and
day
come
one,
back to the
this was
rover?
the unwavering dream of
I have a lot of
get
faith
a
in it, to be
helicopter
honest with you,
launched to
because
Mars
it's really not that complicated of a device. It has 2 rotors, and it's never really going to be far from the rover. My question that I have is, I know the rover drops that out, kind of poops it out behind it, and keeps on driving. I'm wondering if it can ever drive over and pick it back up, or does it have to fly everywhere?
The Sven Bull had a rover with him, or not a rover, sorry, a drone with him when he was in Argentina, in the Atacama Desert, and he managed to push it with one of the tires, with one of the vehicles, accidentally.
It has to be fully
So I
autonomous
wonder
from the time it takes off.
if the rover doesn't
What we do on the ground is
accidentally
we
run
plan
over the
flights, and
helicopter.
So we determine
would suck.
where we want the helicopter to go.
See, it just
Our
poops it out.
experiment window is 30 Martian days. So we have planned up to 5 flights.
So you don't believe it goes back up inside the Moxie?
The Moxie is a instrument, so it wouldn't go inside another testing instrument. If anything, it would go into a docking bay inside the rover.
Oh, my mistake. I thought it came from the Moxie.
Yeah, no, the Moxie, it's an acronym for whatever. It's basically a conversion tool to make oxygen.
In successive flights, we'll probably push that further, try to go further.
So I wonder if it goes back into the
That's what I
inside the rover, or
that's what I want to know.
Because they always look cool.
Well, if you look at there were some pictures of the rover when it was stowed, or the drone when it was stored underneath the rover, and the legs looked like they were spring-loaded.
Nothing is a given.
And
but we have done everything we can
weight
in terms
of
test
that
program, the vehicles performing
drone
extremely well
has to
so
be
far.
extraordinarily
Exactly
small
the right thing right
to
now
be
is
able
bolted onto
to
the Perseverance
fly at
Rover.
all
So there's a very
in
good
1%
chance that we'll pull
of
it
the
off,
density
yes.
of our
But it's
atmosphere.
still high risk.
So I'm guessing that the thing probably can't go back up inside the rover.
Could mean end of
So it has to fly everywhere it goes then.
Exciting, reacting to any surprises we have. We can't wait.
Now, I think
What's really most important is
if I remember
everything we're learning
correctly,
here is
the
future rotorcrafts
and again,
that we want to
take all
introduce
this with a
into
grain
space
of salt because I've
exploration.
watched so many documentaries lately that numbers get confused. But
Mimi
if
Hong is the
my
project
memory
manager for
serves,
Ingenuity. She
I
joins us now as
recall
they await a
they were
chance
hoping
to
to
check
get
out their helicopter
up to
in
4
the
or
coming
5
days.
flights per
Welcome,
day.
Mimi.
Each flight would
We've been
last
talking about
about
this for
3
months,
minutes, 3 to
Mimi.
4
Did you ever
minutes.
think you'd be here at this point? I mean, what's going on in your head right now?
This is
But
super
I don't know
exciting.
the
You know, we have been
longevity of
working
the
on
drone
Mars
itself,
helicopter
how
for
many
over 6
souls it's going to
years,
be. But I mean, if
testing
you
and
look at
carefully
it, there's
designing
nothing
it for
there. You know what I
operation at
mean? It's an
Mars. So what's going
instrument
through my
pack
mind?
hanging down off a propeller and a
Mars
motor and the
helicopter
solar
is
charger.
finally at the destination that it is designed
Hell,
for.
we're smart enough to build that in our
Now that
backyards.
Ingenuity is on Mars, what is the timeline you hope to accomplish as you move forward?
We have a series of major milestones between now and Ingenuity's first flight. So tomorrow we'll turn on the helicopter and its base station to confirm health after experiencing the dynamics through the EDL just now. And the next major milestone will be when the rover deploys the helicopter to the surface. And that marks the first moment that Ingenuity operates on its own in a standalone manner. And surviving that first cold, frigid night of Mars will be a major milestone. We'll execute a series of checkouts, and then we will perform that very important first flight. And if the first flight is successful, we have up to 4 more flights in the 30 Martian days that we have set aside for our flight experiments.
Oh, it's a total of 5 flights.
Right, Mimi?
I wonder how soon they'll have a model of that on eBay.
To space exploration.
I would say there's
A
probably already
helicopter
a model
flying
for 3D
far
printing
ahead
of
of
it.
rovers and astronauts in the future can provide high-definition reconnaissance information for the rovers and the astronauts before they take the long journeys. And as importantly, being able to fly will enable us to get to places that we cannot get to with rovers and astronauts, like sites of steep cliffs, deep inside crevices, areas of high scientific interest. It will be
Only
game-changing.
5 flights though?
Game changing is right, and we've
Yeah,
talked about this a lot. You've mentioned the risk is huge, Mimi, but the reward is
drone
high. What will
was,
be your greatest reward?
I think it was classified as a very high risk sort of thing that they weren't willing to put a huge amount of money into.
And we systematically demonstrated a series of technical steps. We demonstrated
That's a shame because
first, and then we
I
demonstrated
literally thought it
the
was
first
going to
ever
be
powered control rotorcraft flight
like
in simulated Mars atmospheric
a
density.
pair going down
and
Mars.
Then we went on to build the full-up helicopter that can not
I
only
think this
fly
was more of a
but
proof of
operate and
concept
survive
of flying
autonomously at
on
Mars,
different
all
Yeah,
under
I think that's
1.8
true.
kilograms,
And
about
you
4
wouldn't want to
pounds.
risk the whole
And each of
mission
these
on
major
having
milestones have
to
been a
be able to
first.
do
And
reconnaissance
success
with
in each of these has been
the
so
drone.
rewarding.
Yeah.
And along the way, the
That
rewards
would
just keep
certainly
coming. And I
think it
can
would
tell
things up,
this
though.
moment is going up exponentially.
Yeah,
So
I didn't think it would be only a
these
couple
tests,
flights and that would be it though.
analysis,
I did think with
simulations,
what you
and
said,
more tests on Earth,
Topher, that
our
would
team
be
now
that
gets
we
a
would learn to
chance
navigate with it a
to
little
test,
Yeah, I mean, like
prove, and
honestly,
learn
what could
how it
happen to
works in
that
the
thing
actual
in
environment of
30
Mars.
souls?
Our
If
team
that's the
can't ask
life
for a bigger
expectancy
reward
of
than
it,
that.
I mean,
Oh, Mimi, I'm
I'm
so
over
happy for you
stupefying
and your
things
team. And now
saying,
we're
you know,
going to
what
take
could
a
happen to it?
question
It's just
from
sitting there on
social
Mars getting
media,
recharged and flying
Instagram.
around like a DJI drone, you know what I mean?
Vibhuti
But
asks, is
I
the
would think that it
helicopter
would
going
have
to
a
be doing science?
longer life expectancy than 30
Well,
souls.
the helicopter Ingenuity
It could be
is a
like the rover
technology
that they say that the
demonstration,
mission is
and
just
we
for a month or
are
two, but
demonstrating
then they
the
usually
ability
go
to
on
fly
for
and
like 10
learning how
years
to fly
until
for
they
the
die.
I think
very
some of
first
that is a
time.
budgeting
And so
trick
this is a
that
technology
you
demonstration
only ask
and
for
a
a certain amount of
pathfinder
money
for
up front,
future
and
larger
then later
rotorcraft,
you
future missions that will
say,
carry
"Oh,
much
hardware's
larger
still
instruments.
in good
So
Still
on
shape,
this
active.
mission,
still on
we're not doing
Mars."
any science. We're concentrating on engineering.
What's in a number after all that technology? And
well, and you know, the ongoing operations cost is mostly about paying people's salaries. So.
But they'll be icing on the cake.
Yeah,
but this one,
but
this is all
that's when it's
data
just
and
free money, though. It's free data.
all our tests we have done on Earth.
You're basically paying pennies on the dollar now for continued data.
Generations of scientists and engineers to look forward to.
The hardware and the whole launch cost and all that.
Thank you so much for joining us, Amy, and good luck to your team with that first test flight.
It's already been paid for.
Thank you so much.
Plus, I heard China was raising its prices on the parts that it makes for us.
Journeys on Mars as their adventures are just about to start. Go Perseverance.
Do we think that we're gonna see any additional pictures, videos from either the rover or the chopper today?
She was saying that when the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter came over for communication path,
and to get the latest updates on Perseverance as it explores Mars, follow
it
at
sounded
NASA
like probably tomorrow for
on
any of the high
Facebook
res
and Twitter.
photos.
I'd like to thank everyone watching for joining us today. And to the students and teachers tuning in, we hope you learned a lot from today's landing.
Right on.
And thank you for all your questions. We have a news briefing coming up at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. That briefing will wrap up the day and include reactions from Perseverance team members. We'll leave you now with some of the landing celebration photos you've shared with us, set to Youngblood's cover of David Bowie's Life on Mars. I'm Raquel Villanueva. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Topher.
Yeah, this is a good time, guys.
And we end with Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars.
They could have just showed us pictures, not him. There we go. I want one of those patches now.
This mission, they have 3 or 4 different patches, and they're on Amazon and eBay.
I tried to go to the launch when they launched it, but you know how they keep the delays and they cancel it and move it to the next day. And they just couldn't figure it out together. This is a really weird one, man.
Yeah. You know, okay, you know the guy named Adam, who's probably the lead over there. He has the pompadour hair. $5 says he picked this. He's like, we need some Ziggy Stardust bow to take us out, man. Some cool vibes. And I'm going hang out at the press con. They have the same hairstyle. It's got to be his choice. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Watch the interviews later on. There's a guy named Adam. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Pompadour dude. That was Gilbert Tower. They just showed Gilbert Water Tower. That's 20 minutes from my house.
Well, it was good seeing everybody.
Yeah, thanks for joining us live, everyone. It was super cool to experience this with you guys. How often do you land on Mars, you know?
Yeah.
So, stay tuned for more updates on the. Hold on. I'm sorry, dude. Mute you. You are much more tolerable this way. So I appreciate everyone joining us for this. This was really fun to do. I'm glad we're able to actually interact with each other rather than just chatting by text. So good times all. And follow the Hangouts for more updates, because this is just the start of it. Like they said, their job is just starting. Well, our job of tracking it and reporting it to everyone's just starting. So stay tuned to the Hangouts, guys.
Yeah. Take care, all.
Thanks. See you guys. Bye. See you, Marissa.
See you later.
Thanks for joining us.
See you, Marissa.
See you, Arthur.